Thanks for joining us. My name is Emily Dennis. I'm a principal product manager here at Simon Data. I've been at Simon for about 4.5 years. I'm the product owner for anything and everything to do with identity, including the hot topic for today, which is identity resolution. I'm super excited to be here to talk about how identity resolution can unlock some massive potential for your marketing strategies. And I'll kick it over to Matt to introduce himself.
I'm Matt Walker, co-founder and CTO at Simon, and I've spent my entire career in pursuit of unlocking value from data, whether it be in analytics, data science, data-driven product development, and at Simon in using data to drive better marketing. And in that 10 years of my multi-decade career has actually been at Simon, in which time we've grown tremendously, solved an incredible range of problems for marketing teams, and our success really shows in the amazing brands that we continue to support by unlocking value from data. And one of the linchpins in providing that value is our approach to identity resolution. So I'll turn it back over to Emily to kick off the topic for today's discussion.
Thanks, Matt. Alrighty, let's go ahead and kick things off. So today, we'll dive deep into a topic that's super essential for any marketer who's looking to improve personalization and drive better results, and that is identity resolution. Throughout this session, we'll explore how you can use identity resolution to convert more customers while also optimizing your marketing spend at the same time. And by the end, you'll have a clear understanding of how identity resolution works and how it can help transform your marketing efforts, driving greater ROI and delivering more personalized customer experiences. Alrighty, so first things first, let's start with a foundational concept, which is entity resolution, that bar at the top. Entity resolution is the process of identifying and linking records that refer to the same entity, be it a customer, a company, or any other object across different data sources. It's the umbrella technique that encompasses various methods of stitching together fragmented data to create that unified customer profile. Going a layer deeper, we've got two primary identity resolution approaches. Those are deterministic and probabilistic. Each serves a different purpose, and depending on your data needs and your marketing goals, understanding the difference is key to making the right choice for your strategy. Matt, would you mind walking us through some real-world examples of both?
Absolutely. Let's start with some examples of probabilistic resolution, and we'll further refine those into resolution of known and unknown users. With known users, probabilistic methods really focus on linking records through similarity, which we often call fuzzy matching. So this might allow us to compensate for things like nicknames or different forms of a mailing address, et cetera, while still managing to actually make a match between disparate records. Probabilistic methods for unknown users do something pretty similar with IP addresses, user agents, session contexts, and things of that nature. They're essentially just trying to link together web browsing sessions. Those probabilistic methods are subject to error, and those are not the highest fidelity form of identity resolution. But for many applications like analytics or even advertising, where the penalty of incorrect matches is relatively low, it's entirely appropriate. But specifically for highly personalized marketing use cases, we need higher fidelity because we're ultimately going to be addressing the user by their name. That's why Simon's core identity resolution is fully deterministic. For known users, it's observing identifiers being put into correspondence with one another. Say when a user registers for an account, when they log into your mobile app, when they complete a transaction. And for unknown users, deterministic methods are predominantly a way to backstitch anonymous browsing behavior to expand the context we have once they become known. So rather than drill into specifically how Simon's core identity resolution works, I want to illustrate through an example journey. So let's say that you have a new anonymous user browsing your website on their laptop, and then you present them with a phone capture pop-up. And that's going to collect their phone number, which we're going to use to send an SMS to them that includes a discount offer. The user then is going to receive that text message and then click through and begin browsing the website via their mobile web browser. And at that point, they register for a user account where they're allocated a user ID and they provide their email address. And then they go on to complete a transaction, which is the moment where they create an order that records simultaneously their email address and their phone number. So it's important to note that the way that the identity is unfolding across this relatively short journey involves two different identities to begin with, which are only put into association once we have the right identifiers in the right context. At first, they're just a individual identified by phone number, then one identified by email address, and then when the order is submitted, we're able to actually perform that identity stitching. And that's fundamentally how it works and is the primary value of identity resolution. Without identity resolution, you're essentially just having disparate web sessions and records scattered across your organization's data assets. But with it, you're actually able to build that 360-degree view of the user across your full range of data. You can tie, say, your push engagement data to your loyalty platform. You can link call center data to your transaction history. You can link in third-party identity graphs and further enrich your first-party data, and also simultaneously expand your reach across paid and owned channels. But the real unlock for marketing use cases comes in being able to use all that data for high fidelity personalization.
Yep, exactly. As Matt just said, you as marketers know that delivering personalized, targeted messages is key to driving engagement. But fragmented customer data can seriously hinder your efforts. Without accurate identity resolution, you're often left with incomplete or even incorrect customer profiles, leading to missed opportunities for retargeting, wasted ad spend, and ultimately poor customer experiences. Identity resolution is the foundation of any successful customer data strategy. If your data is inconsistent, your campaigns will be inconsistent. Bad data can cause customers to receive irrelevant offers or be bombarded with ads for products that they've already purchased, which frustrates them and reduces engagement. In fact, Gartner says that poor data quality costs organizations around $12.9 million in lost opportunities and bad business decisions. Oops, sorry. A 360-degree view of the customer is only as good as the quality of each individual degree. Without proper identity resolution, you are likely to deliver inconsistent messages, waste your marketing spend by serving ads to the wrong customers, drive ad fatigue, or even lose potential sales because you couldn't link anonymous visitors and their behavior to known profiles. In today's marketing landscape, effective identity resolution is critical. By resolving those customer identities across touchpoints, you'll be able to create that unified customer view that powers everything from personalized product recommendations to effective retargeting campaigns. And this improves not only your customer experience, but also your ROI by ensuring that your marketing dollars are spent as wisely as possible. We'll revisit this slide again at the end, but I wanted to touch on some of these best practices now before we dive into some specific use cases. First and foremost, the efficacy of your marketing initiatives is directly related to the quality of the data that you're working with. If you attempt to do identity resolution on garbage data, you're going to get garbage results. That said, it's important to take the time to evaluate your current state before making any changes. Audit your data sources. Does your SMS provider format phone numbers differently from what's in your orders table and your CDW? If yes, then you might need to do some cleansing and normalization before you tackle identity resolution. It's also a good idea to set some baselines for the metrics that you care about most, such as conversion rates and customer acquisition costs. That way, you can track whether or not your identity resolution efforts are positively influencing the metrics you expect, and you can always make adjustments if they're not. Lead with deterministic identity resolution and focus first on the data that you already have. As you expand, you can integrate web events to capture real-time customer interactions, which will improve match rates across channels and enhance your known customer profiles with rich behavioral data. And finally, plan for growth. As your customer base grows, so does your need to scale your identity resolution strategy. Automate processes where possible and ensure that you've set KPIs to continuously measure success along the way. Identity resolution really is an ongoing effort, but with the right practices in place, you can ensure that your marketing efforts remain effective and data-driven. All right. On that note, I wanted to dive into some specific use cases to illustrate all of this further. I'll go ahead and set the stage for us, and then I'll hand it over to Matt to talk about how it actually works on the back end. If I can get my slide to switch. All right. The reality is that for most businesses, around 90% of website traffic is unauthenticated. And for marketers, this is a huge blind spot. If you can't identify who's visiting your site, you lose the ability to understand their behaviors, personalize your messages, or re-engage them at the right point in their customer journey. You're basically flying blind when it comes to turning these anonymous visitors into known customers. The impact of unresolved identities goes beyond these missed opportunities for personalization, however. Frankly, you're leaving money on the table. You lose potential abandonment revenue, you're stuck with incomplete first party data, and your marketing messages lack the personalization that they need to engage your audience effectively. Think about it. If you don't know who a visitor is, you can't send them a targeted abandonment email when they leave items in their cart. These anonymous users may as well not exist from a marketing perspective, even though they're actively interacting with your brand on a daily basis. This is where Identity Plus comes in. ID Plus, for short, is designed to solve the challenge of resolving seemingly anonymous traffic to known customer profiles, enabling you to expand the reach of your highest performing behavioral campaigns. And the outcome? More identifiable, actionable customers, better targeting, and ultimately more revenue. Now, let's take a deeper dive into some real world results with one of our customers who's a popular e-commerce retailer. They saw incredible results after implementing ID Plus into their marketing stack. It resulted in about a 17x return on their investment last year. The ability to target more customers and provide personalized experiences had a direct impact on their revenue. This customer was already running high converting abandonment campaigns out of Simon, but they were missing a large portion of their potential audience, those seemingly anonymous visitors who were actually existing customers but were just not logged in while they were browsing. After turning on ID Plus, though, they were able to resolve significantly more identities from their web traffic, which allowed them to expand their abandonment sends by a large margin. In just the first 4 days of a 30-day pilot period, they captured a whopping $16,500 in additional abandonment revenue. This is all it took for this client to opt in post-pilot. Breaking it down a little bit further, this retailer also saw an 18% increase in total trackable add to cart events compared to when Identity Plus was not live. Alrighty, now that we've shown you how valuable identity resolution can be in expanding the reach of your most lucrative campaigns, I'm going to hand it over to Matt, who will dive a little bit deeper into the technical nitty-gritty. Matt, take it away.
Definitely. So to start drilling down here and how ID Plus works, let's first overview the solution secret sauce. So it's built on top of the identity graph of a best-in-class partner who has not only broad reach across people, but also across channels. And further, their graph is continuously updating in real time as user interact with sites and apps across the internet. And second, we offer seamless integration between Simon's core functionality and Identity Plus. Switching ID Plus on is simply a matter of co-deploying our partner's pixel alongside the Simon.js snippet that you already have on site. And graph integration is entirely server to server and hands off from the perspective of one of our clients. And finally, there's nothing to be done to existing triggered campaigns in order to reap the benefits of ID Plus. Once it's enabled, you see the results overnight in your existing campaigns. And when you first switch Identity Plus on, Simon immediately begins caching identifiers from our partner's identity graph for known users. That process is very analogous to the matching process that underlies custom audience products in downstream social and paid media channels. And the result is that when a known user is browsing on your site while logged out, our partner's identity graph can be consulted for an identifier that we can then look up in a cache mapping to known users. And that's what allows us to actually send the messages to the user despite them not being logged in.
Amazing. Thanks, Matt. Now, I want to expand upon that use case a bit by opening up the world of identity resolution and Identity Plus that we just talked about to those truly anonymous website visitors and talk about ROAS Plus. The way that the market approaches customer acquisition today has fundamentally shifted. It's no longer just about targeting broad audiences or relying on a single channel to drive conversions. Customers are engaging with brands across multiple touch points, online, offline, on mobile, through social media, et cetera, and acquisition strategies are adapting to this new reality. Despite all the tools and all the data at our disposal today, marketers still face a variety of limitations, though. Without enough visibility into customer behavior across platforms and devices, marketers struggle to deliver relevant messages at the right time. Paid media platforms are often walled gardens, separate from one another and from your own marketing efforts. This lack of integration can make it difficult to deliver a cohesive, personalized experience to your customers across their entire journey. And without transparency into what's working and what's not, it's hard to iterate and optimize. This leaves marketers with a limited ability to personalize experiences and adjust strategies in real time. And these gaps are why many performance marketing strategies fall short of delivering the results we expect. But not all is lost. This is where ROAS Plus steps in. This product gives you the power to create cross-device profiles, which allow you to track and engage your customers more effectively, regardless of how or where they interact with your brand. Breaking down silos, ROAS Plus synchronizes data across all of your marketing channels so that you can target the right customers with the right message at the right time. Now, to truly understand how ROAS Plus works and why it's such a game changer for your paid media strategy, I'm going to pass it back over to Matt.
Thanks, Emily. So similar to how we led with our secret sauce for ID Plus, let's do the same for ROAS Plus. First, our cloud data warehouse native integration allows our integration timelines to be in days or weeks rather than months or quarters. And all the while, it's giving you broad access to your organization's full data utilizing best-in-class security practices. And that enables identity resolution across both known and anonymous users, utilizing both online and offline data. And you combine that with plugging into Simon's AI-powered automatic segmentation, and you have a powerful tool for increasing your return on ad spend. And lastly, Simon optimizes across your user's full lifecycle, spanning all major owned and paid channels. In addition, you get access to next generation channels like integrating to the trade desk directly through Snowflake. So similar to Identity Plus, when ROAS Plus is first enabled, Simon begins caching identifiers from our partner's identity graph for known users. However, when a user, known or anonymous, browses your site, Simon receives an identifier from our partner identity graph regardless. And that can be exchanged for additional hashed email addresses and mobile ad identifiers. So this is how both anonymous and known profiles are amplified in order to boost match rates in downstream custom audiences. With more hashed emails and more mobile ad identifiers for each individual, Simon's more likely to find the user's account in those downstream channels.
Amazing. Now, to tie this all together, and before we wrap up, let's quickly revisit the best practices slide that I showed before. So these, again, are foundational steps that ensure that you get the most out of your identity resolution efforts. And as with anything, you can't improve or make changes if you don't have a solid understanding of where you stand today. The house doesn't fall when the bones are good, so focus on data cleansing and preparation for the best outcome. Once the foundation is set, you can analyze, iterate, and readjust when necessary to account for the growth of your business and changes in customer behavior over time. No matter where you are on your identity resolution journey, there are steps that you can take to improve. If you're new to this whole identity resolution thing, focus on the basics first. Start small by identifying a key data source and implement some simple deterministic matching techniques to clean and unify your customer profiles. This will give you that strong foundation that you can easily build on. Look for quick wins by resolving identities within your most active channels, like email or SMS, before tackling more complicated things like integrating in-store POS data with behavioral data from your website. This will help you start seeing improvements in engagement and conversion rates early on, which can fuel further efforts. And for those of you who are ready to level up, consider some more advanced solutions like ID Plus and ROAS Plus. It's all about continuously improving and scaling over time as you optimize your marketing performance, drive incremental revenue, and build stronger connections with your customers as a result.